Yes, good evening. Today, our finance minister tabled the economic survey in the parliament. Later in the evening, our chief economic advisor, Mr. Ananda Narayanan, in a press meet, briefed about the contents in the economic survey. Our chief economics advisor showed lot of optimism while even starting his address, he take a clue from the World Economic Outlook, IMF's World Economic Outlook, which showed that India's GDP growth in the next fiscal will be above 6%. What is this economic survey? So, economic survey it's a document which this gives insights about the India's state of economy and various indicators, and it also gives an outlook about the following year. So, from the year 1950-51, we started publishing the economic survey, but until 1960, economic survey used to be a budget document. So only in the year 1960, economic survey was separated from the budget document and it used to be presented or tabled in the parliament one day before the beginning of the budget. As usual, this year's economic survey, it begins with a chapter which mentions very clearly that we are out of the recovery. The post-pandemic recovery phase is over and we are out of the recovery. There are three parts in the economic survey. One is the actual content where we have these 12 chapters. So it will be followed by tables and graphs, and that will be followed by an appendix. Guys who are preparing for this UPSC examination, it is very much essential that you have good idea about this economic survey. At least page by page, right? It should not be because this is one opportunity. There is some content from which you can expect at least 2 or 3 questions. So make it sure that you are thorough in this. But my humble advice is you should be comfortable with all the economic terms. For example, they keep mentioning like the current account deficit is widening. If you do not know what is current account deficit, then it will be difficult for you to follow this. Once when you are comfortable with all the economic terms, then economic survey will be a very simple cakewalk. So this year's economic survey, as it shows a lot of optimism, and the very first chapter it mentions that we are out for the recovery. Economic survey largely takes clue from the balance sheet of the banks, which shows a lot of improvement when compared to the last 2 or 3 years. So the post-pandemic recovery is over and we are into the next phase. So in this economic survey, just see we need to focus on the chapter number 6, social infrastructure and employment, the big tent. This particular chapter has been pushed up. Now it is the sixth chapter. Along with that, the last chapter, physical and digital infrastructure, lifting potential growth. These are bit very important, and as usual, external sector, external sector. But it is essential that page by page you go through the content as well as the tables mentioned here. So in the chapter social infrastructure and employment, there is a major emphasis on the enhanced government expenditure for making the life better or better quality of life. More than 14,500 PM Sri schools to be started, and we know there is a rise in the number of IITs, IIMs. And one improvement here is the urban employment. So during the pandemic period, this was one particular sector which was showing a lot of weakness, urban employment. But now largely because of private spending and capital formation, even this particular sector started showing some amount of recovery. And there is a broad-based recovery across almost all the sectors. Even inflation, which was skyrocketing some 1 year ago, the last fiscal, it was showing signs of slowing down. Though there was a decline in the forex reserves, around we have lost around 70 billion, but still we are in a very comfortable stage. Fiscal deficit is within the target. And even inflation, the 6% is very much within the RBI's inflation target. So with lot of optimism, economic survey opens the page with a lot of optimism. And there is also a major emphasis on these digital infrastructure, public, physical and digital infrastructure. So lifting the potentials of the growth. So these are the topics which we'll be emphasizing, and in the coming lectures, we'll be discussing every chapter page by page. So guys, get ready for the economics for the discussion in economic survey. I will meet you in the next lecture where we will start from the first chapter. Thank you.